Har du sett va? Rosa mannen.
Hi, welcome to the 15-minute trip to the cinema you can take every day. This is MTV At The Movies. Kathleen Turner and Dennis Quaid team up for the first time as spies for the sharing, caring 90s in Undercover Blues.
You know what's funny?
What?
That gray van over there.
Funny ha-ha or funny interesting?
I mean,
Have you been listening to anything that I'm saying
it's
here?
been sitting there for 7 minutes with the motor running.
So what?
And it's in front of a bank.
I repeat, so what?
Order me another coffee.
He's so rude sometimes. I'm sorry. I just have to apologize.
Excuse me.
Honey, you gotta see this. Come on. Come see what Daddy's doing.
Oh, wow!
Next time, buy American.
Jeff and Jane Blue are spies who met on assignment and fell in love. But instead of the Cold War style of undercover love, you know, love 'em, leave 'em and shoot 'em on the way out the door, the Blues decided to commit to marriage, family and all that happily ever after stuff. But while this experienced pair of espionage agents is enjoying maternity leave with baby, the old boss arrives to put them on the case of an international terrorist ring. So, do they carry on with the holiday or do they take on the job, baby and all? Well, as long as they share nappy changing, what's the problem? They've got Undercover Blues.
Oh, this place is great. Darling, the oysters come with guns.
Don't make any sudden moves.
Why not? Is there a bee on me?
I don't see one.
What's a sudden move? I never understood that.
You know, I don't either. I think they watch too many cop shows.
I want you to get up from the table very, very slowly.
Very, very, not just very.
Jeff.
Start moving.
You remember Marseille 3-4 years ago?
Uh-huh.
Don't try anything stupid.
Are you sure you remember?
I think so.
I'm warning you.
All right, on the count of 3. 1, 2,
Don't.
3.
All right. The comedy's over.
Kathleen Turner and Dennis Quaid joined forces. Kind of funny, seeing as this film sort of reminds you of their roles in Romancing the Stone and The Big Easy, with a baby thrown in there somewhere. That's a spy movie spoof, Undercover Blues. Our next hero has undiscovered blues as a young travelling musician who heads into a Mexican town looking for work. What he does find is that he's a dead lookalike for a hitman who's wanted by the local mob. The movie's called El Mariachi, and in case you haven't heard of him already, 24-year-old director Roberto Rodriguez made this entertaining action movie on a budget of a mind-boggling $7,000 US. MTV caught up with him, or just about, at the Deauville Film Festival and asked how he did it.
Yeah, well, I made it a lot like this guy's doing right now. I made it for the Spanish home video market, and we had to make it for very little money. I had a handheld camera. I shot the sound separately. Let's sit somewhere else if people watch. And it was basically for fun. I wanted just to learn how to make movies by making movies. I took it to an agent in Los Angeles. You know what they did? You're gonna have to move. They send copies of the tape out to Hollywood to show people what I could do. Columbia Pictures bought it, and they released it in theater, so it was impossible. It's never been done before in the United States.
Van a bajar los calzones para cortarme los huevos.
I had to sell my body to a research hospital where they test pharmaceuticals on people. And they give you $100 a day. And so while I was in there, I wrote the script. That's mainly why I did it, because I needed the money and I needed someplace quiet to write. And it worked real well. In fact, the guy who plays the bad guy, the man in white, he was in the bunk next to me in the hospital. That's where I met him. And so I cast him out of there. But I think it inspires other people to know that you can, with a camera and no equipment and no crew, you can go out and make a pretty good movie.
An up-and-coming adventure movie maestro, Roberto Rodriguez, and don't miss El Mariachi. It's really great, and you can expect a lot more from that young man. An old hand at this kind of movie, and no stranger to the shootout, is Clint Eastwood. Clint plays Frank, a secret agent on the brink of retirement who, deep down, still blames himself for the death of JFK. That was 30 years ago. Now, he's haunted by the more real threat of a highly trained assassin stalking the current president's campaign trail. It's a fight to the death between a man who would die to kill the president and a man who would die to save him. In the Line of Fire.
I've played for presidents and I've played with presidents. Nixon and I once did a halfway decent duet at Moonlow.
I heard he didn't like you.
That's not true. We got on all right. It was his chief of staff. Now, that was another matter.
So, Oregon, how come you never wear shades, stand and post?
I like the wackos to see the whites of my eyes. Good glare can be just as effective as a gun. Know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Know what I mean?
Oh, you got me.
You better stick to the shades, sweetheart. Agent Raines, what are you afraid of?
Afraid of making a big mistake. Good night.
John Malkovich is the crazed killer Mitch Leary in that fiery action movie. But back in the golden days of merry old England, of course, there were no guns, explosives, or surveillance systems. It was just good old arrows and armour, but there were more essential pieces of equipment then, a manly pair of tight trousers. Comedy king Mel Brooks has finally pointed that out, and although he may be a little slow to follow the success of Kevin Costner's Prince of Thieves, he'll make it in the end. MTV visited the set of the send-up medieval movie starring Cary Elwes and Roger Rees. This is Robin Hood, Men in Tights.
Not too far from the heart of LA is Sherwood Forest, where Robin Hood, his merry men in tights, and Mel Brooks are wreaking comedy havoc all across the countryside.
I mean, we'll be arrested for destroying a legend. I mean, we have done terrible things. We've turned it into a pretzel. God bless Kevin Costner. When I saw his movie, I really enjoyed it, except that there were some things that just lent themselves to humor.
Amid a village of extras and an army of knights, Maid Marian is being taken on by Amy Yasbeck. The Sheriff of Rottingham is overacted by English stage actor Roger Rees.
Lincoln, and I'm blind. Hey!
And a strange bunch of merry men are led by Cary Elwes, who steps into the famous green tights as Robin Hood.
Microphone check, microphone checking. The comedy is just fun. Everyone comes to work with a smile and having a good time. You have a lot of actors going, oh, God.
Well, the atmosphere on the set is very serious, and I enjoy that because I am a very serious actor, and I'm very easily distracted.
Mr. Brooks, you ready?
Don't do anything dangerous or spectacular.
Hey, camera, Mark.
Action! Visor. And landed. And charge.
That's great. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm very basic. So basic that the farting scene in Blazing Saddles is still memorable. I'm not farting now, I promise you.
And it's not that long, I guess, since we saw Cary Elwes sporting a pair of tights and tall boots and leather jerkin for his role in The Princess Bride. Meanwhile, as we await him as Robin Hood, we can check out Cary in a new thriller on release. He plays Nick Elliott, who becomes the object of a crush by the teenage girl who's just become his neighbour. Little does Nick know, however, that as her fixation turns into a full-blown revenge, she will do more than buy a new lipstick to get his attention. It's Fatal Attraction Before Marriage, and it's called The Crush. And stay tuned to MTV, because right after this, we take a look at the latest music headlines from the News at Night team. See ya.
I'd like to thank you all for your generosity and hope you will continue to support our cause. And with that, I'd like to introduce you to the American President of Namdek, Miss Abigail Spaulding.
Hi, sweetheart.
What are you doing here?
Missed you at the show. Did something come up?
Go on, get out of here.
Too busy kissing ass to care about me, is that it? Ow! Forgive us. I'll be back in a jiffy.
That's it. I want you to stay away from me.
I help you.
We're nothing.
I love you, Nick, and you love me.
You're sick.